crown. Zola with the chance to prove that she can run well not just against the clock, but on the big occasion too. Well, she made a very positive start, pulling away from the field early on, along with the two favourites, the Zeit Saver of the Soviet Union and the East German girl Ulrike Bruns. And that was still the situation as they entered the closing stages. Our commentary team is Stuart Story, Ron Pickering, Brendan Foster, and first, David Coleman.
Well, just under 2 laps to go. We've always suspected that Zola Budd hasn't got any real sprint speed. It's got to be lengthening all the way. Again, electing not to wear shoes, and she's certainly much happier without them. Zeit Saver, the girl in second place, you may remember gave Mary Decker a tremendous battle in the World Championship 1500 metres, and was only just beaten on the tape. But Ulrike Bruns, the girl in third place, she's done 8:48 this year. She is the GDR 1500 metres champion. She's got speed, and she's been experimented at the 3000 metres for the last 18 months, and she's very, very good.
I must say, David, she looks certainly a happier athlete today than we did see her in Los Angeles last year from all points of view.
So it's Budd of Great Britain leading, Zeit Saver of the Soviet Union right at her shoulder in second place, and Bruns of East Germany third. This time they'll hear the bell, and Budd's tactics will be interesting. Zeit Saver's worrying her slightly, just living on the shoulder, hassling a little bit, making Zola aware of her presence. Bruns has made no move at all. She's been content to go with the pace. 300 to go. No kick at all yet. And it's got to be very fast indeed. It could be a new British record, or it could be very close. And Budd's hanging on in there. Just over 200 to go, and she's refusing to give way. 200 to go now, and Zeit Saver moving up at the outside. The crowd encouraging. Bruns has made no move. But the little girl is hanging on. Entering the straight now. And the crowd rising to this. Budd is still going the short way. Zeit Saver on the near side. And Budd is responding. Zeit Saver tries hard. Bruns is beaten. And Budd finds some speed at last. And she is going to win an astonishing race. A new British record for Zola Budd. Zeit Saver in second place. Bruns is third, and at last, we've seen Zola Budd really grow up as a track athlete. And we're talking about a girl who is only 19 years old. But that was about competition, that was about racing, and she had the courage and character to see it through. She won it from the front in the most difficult way possible, and it merely confirms my belief that she started the season with far too much training in her legs. She hadn't done enough fast work. Now she's getting the right side of work in. She's got a bit more experience, and she's growing in stature all the time. And really the Moscow crowd responded to the little lady. They stood and cheered as Zeit Saver, their own heroine, was beaten. But suddenly Budd finds the sprinting speed we suspected she hadn't got. Zeit Saver tires, it's all relative in many ways, but as Budd realises that, look at her lengthening, look at her driving for the tape. And that is a magnificent finish, and a new British record in 8 minutes 35.37.
Zola, congratulations, a magnificent victory, and I'm sure you're absolutely delighted.
Yes, I'm very glad after all the bad races this season. I'm really glad to have won in my best time.
Say all your bad races this season, did you?
Yes, I wanted to run better in races, a few races this season, and I'm really glad I could do it today.
That is an historic victory for Britain in this event, because it's the first victory by a lady athlete since 1967. In fact, you were only 1 year old at that time.
Yes, I'm really very pleased and glad I could have run well today, especially on days like today.
Do you feel that that race has answered perhaps some of the criticisms of you, that you didn't have a kick over the final lap? Because when 3 of you started that final lap, the feeling might well have been that you would come in third, but in fact you had the strength and the speed and the courage to stay out in front.
Yes, at the 300 meters mark I only thought I must keep up to the 200 meters mark, and then I felt I could go faster, and it just came naturally, and I'm very glad I could do it.
Were you aware in the early stages of the race how fast it was being run and what the pace was?
I knew it was fast, but I really didn't concentrate on it that time. I only concentrate on
or two of our commentators in the box suggested perhaps that earlier in the season you might have done a bit too much work and perhaps weren't at your sharpest. But now here today, you seem to be absolutely at your best.
I think physically I was right during the season, but mentally it took me a few races to get back into international competition and hard races. And I think I just needed a few races.
And what was your tactic here today? Because you seemed to go off very determined at the start. You didn't want to get boxed. You didn't want to get into any trouble. You made them follow you.
Yes, I wanted to run fast and hard. Otherwise, they would sprint me if the race was slow, if it was a tactical race. And I just concentrated on going faster after every lap and putting fast surges during the race.
And how do you feel now, having won the event and picked up 8 points for the British ladies team?
Very glad, and I'm really glad it's over.
And I'm sure everybody at home is as well. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.